Hello everyone, and welcome to Fictional Vortex. So we are back with an interesting series on what if Naruto was a king of zombies had Resident Evil's power. But before we start, I just want to remind you to please subscribe to my channel and hit the like button if you enjoy my content. Let's start the story. In an era unknown, there was a war that decided the fate of all living life on the planet. The battle lasted for days or even weeks until the war reached its climax. After the end of Fourth Shinobi War and after the sealing of the Mother of All Chakra Kagaya, we find both warriors in an area that used to be a river with two statues of two legends. Madara Uchiha and Hashirama Senju took battle. We find two young boys no older than 17 years old battling, one for peace, the other revolution. Boom! One unknown figure was sent flying, crashing towards a boulder. Arg! The other crashed towards a boulder, breaking it in the process, and crashed to a wall. Both figures look at each other, breathing heavily, one struggling to stand only to fall on his knees, the other trying to hold himself on the wall. One figure standing at 5 feet 11 with blonde spike hair, with sapphire blue eyes, with sun-kissed skin color, with a handsome face. No homo. That is badly beaten. He is wearing a orange torn-up short-sleeve shirt with slashed black baggy pants with black ninja sandals. This figure is Naruto Uzumaki, son of Kushina Uzumaki and Minato Namikaze, and the reincarnation of Asura. The other figure standing the same height as Naruto, with black hair with two long bangs on both sides of his face and the back shaped as a duck's ass, with two onyx eyes and light skin color, with also handsome face. Again no homo, also beaten badly. He is wearing a torn-up light gray high-collared short-sleeve shirt with a pokeball-looking insignia on the back, with torn black baggy pants with also black ninja sandals. This figure is Sasuke Uchiha, the last living Uchiha of his clan and the reincarnation of Indra. Naruto Ultimate Ninja Storm Generation, clashing rivals. "It's over, Sasuke!" yelled Naruto. "No, not until I complete my goal. The only thing standing in my way is you, Naruto!" shouted Sasuke right back, then started making hand signs and grabbed his wrist, then glowed white with black electricity started to appear in his hand. "I made a promise to Sakura that I will bring you back, but it looks like I'm gonna have to break that promise. If this is how it ends, then so be it." As he raised his hand, a black sphere with white color wind started to appear. I know it's supposed to be blue, but he's using his yin seal. Both attacks grew brighter, that the entire area was covered with white wind and dark lightning thanks to their yin and yang powers granted by the sixth paths. They both look at each other, then jumped with their jutsu aimed at each other. Naruto. Sasuke aimed his attack at him. Sasuke. Naruto aimed his attack at him as well. Onikisu Chidori. Onyx Chidori. Got it, from the new game that just came out. Rasengan. Rasengan. Both attack collided, creating a giant black dome on the inside. Both ex-friends battle for dominance until Sasuke Chidori went through and stabbed on Naruto's right shoulder, while Naruto's Rasengan blew right through Sasuke's chest, making a hole. Both of them cough out blood. Naruto looked at Sasuke as he smiles and closes his eyes and was sent flying out of the dome while Naruto stayed inside. Then the dome disappeared with Naruto still inside while Sasuke took his last breath as darkness took him. With Naruto. Naruto was screaming inside a dimension vortex. He then looks at his body and widens his eyes and sees it being torn apart. "Kurama, what's happening?" Naruto starts talking to his friend, who is a fox with 9 tails. "Kid, we're being thrown into a different world and your body can't take it. At this rate you will cease to exist if this keeps up," he explained as he's trying to find a way to save his only friend that accepted him. "Then what do we do?" he exclaimed as Kurama looked at him with sorrowful face. "Kit, there is a way," he said, getting his attention. "Awesome, then let's hear it," he said. I gonna have to have you release the seal so that way I can give myself so you can survive the effects in this dimension," he said, and Naruto widens his eyes in horror. "What? No, there's gotta be another way. I'm not losing you like I did to Neji and Obito. There is to be another way." "Anything," he exclaimed. "There isn't. This is the only way to ensure that you survive. I'm gonna give you all my powers. You will have full access to chakra mode, Biju mode and Rakudu mode. It's been a pleasure working with you, even though it was short, but I had a blast, Kit." He smirks at him while Naruto has tears falling down. Me too, you are my best friend. You have been with me since the day I can remember, even though we didn't get along in the beginning, but during in the war we bonded. I'm never gonna forget you. You big furry bastard." He smirks while tears keep falling. Kurama laughs. And I won't forget you, kid. Promise me something. Naruto looked at him. Anything. He closed his eyes. Live. As soon as he said that, Naruto released him. He then gave Naruto all his chakra to him, making him a half-demon in order for Naruto survive the dimension vortex. Naruto watched his body stop being torn apart and sees Kurama begin to disappear. Naruto extends his hand towards his friend as he continued falling deeper into the portal. Kurama. He screamed as he disappeared deeper into the vortex. Kurama smirks as he closes his eyes as a tear falls and darkness takes him. Farewell, my friend. Song end, _. In an unknown area. In a city that lay in ruins, some building or on fire, cars crashed, dead bodies with blood everywhere. But the things as the dead don't stay dead. The year is September 9, 1998. In a peaceful city called Raccoon City was it hit with a virus making people sick and die, but the dead rise up and walk among the living, feasting on their flesh, and so the military blocked all escape routes, trapping everyone in the city with the dead. A corporation called Umbrella sent in their USS team called Wolfpack were sent in to acquire samples called G-virus from a scientist William Birkin. But their mission went to hell, releasing the virus into the city, and now Umbrella sent all USS operatives and destroy all evidence and all witnesses that will lead to the downfall of Umbrella. Gunshots. Quickly, he went this way. Shouted a voice that sounded feminine that was wearing a tight black scuba dive looking uniform, hugging her nice figure with a gas mask on her face and has red hair tied in a pun. She is holding an assault rifle with her. She is with two other people. One of them is a male wearing a black hooded coat with light armor and wearing a hazard mask. The final member is a female wearing a black uniform for what it looked like a butcher type clothing, and she has blonde hair and again wearing a gas mask that looked like the male's one wearing. Right now they were running after a man wearing what it looked like a SWAT uniform with a vest in the back. It spelled RPD that they saw went to a parking garage. The group got inside and the entire area is dark so they can't see shit. Then they turned on their flashlights. One of them pointed theirs flashlight on the floor only to see a trail of fresh blood. If this guy keep bleeding at this rate, he's gonna attract the entire neighborhood, the male whispered. Quite Vector, I hear him, hissed the same female voice. Fuck you, Lupo. He snapped the now named Vector. Lupo was gonna say something until the other female responded. Quite, did you hear that? Said the other female. Then the other two looked around until Lupo's flashlight flashed at a man crouched and covered in blood and was eating a severed bleeding arm. The man looked at them, then dropped the arm. Then more people started to appear covered in blood with some of their flesh missing. The group were surrounded by the dead and opened fire at the Tayway. The undead were dropping like flies until Lupo shot one that was in front of her and saw the cop that they were after ran towards the door. It's the cop, let's go. She ran, shouted as they followed her. Outside where a gas station is located. Outside in the open where a bunch of cars were on fire while some were covered in blood, located to a gas station that still looked operational. Lupo and the now named Berta ran after the cop as they saw him trip on a metal bar. Then they turned and saw the rest of their team. One of them is wearing a full heavy armor made to protect him from explosives. He is Beltway. And other is wearing a light armor with a scope-like mask that is made for sniping. He is called Spectre, and the other was wearing a full black uniform that looked like Lupo's but a bit different and wearing a mask that covers her lower face. She has 4 eyes. Lupo points her rifle at the man's head until they heard another voice. Hey, this is a quarantine zone. He shouted. The man with brown spiky hair and was wearing a military uniform with a red scarf on his neck. This man is DI. He points his gun at them. Identify yourself. He then stops when he hears a click sound. He moves his eyes to his left only to see Vector DeCloak having a gun pointed. Don't another step. He snapped at DI while his team point their guns at Vector. Lupo looks at them with a blank face and shoots the cop at the back off the head. When that happened, DI moves his head making Vector shoot and miss and gets hit in the face and kicked in the back of his leg and falls. D was about to shoot him only for Vector to kick his rifle making him miss his shoot. Vector gets up and tries to kick 2 at D, but he blocked them with his gun and tries to shoot at Vector again only for him to miss again and kicked on the stomach and gets roundhouse kicked to the chest and falls on the floor. Vector activated his cloak after he kicked D and disappears. Lupo then looks back at her team only to order them to fire at D and his team. D looks at them as they began to fire at them, then jumps for cover at a car next to him. His team did the same and took cover behind the cars they were next to. A male that is bald with a big beard with sunglasses hanging at the back of his head taking cover at the back of a truck. This male is named Harley. Who the hell are these guys? He shouted as he fires back and looks at a female with short red hair with a nice figure. This female is Tweed. Let me ask them. She shouted and gets up and fires her heavy machine gun moving towards where Harley is taking cover. While she is firing at Wolfpack, they begin to take cover at the heavy fire that Tweed is bringing them. Beltway and Spectre got up, formed their cover and opened fire at Tweed, who she covered next to Harley. D takes a peek at where the hostiles were and blind fires and hits Beltway close to his shoulder and takes cover. He looks at the spot that he got shot at. Son of bitch. He hissed and takes out a grenade and throws it at D. Right back at Yaw. The grenade landed under the car where D was taking cover and looks down. Shit. He moves away just in time for the grenade to go off. D was on his knees holding his ear because of the beep noise. Thanks to after explosion, he looks up and sees a sexy blonde female named Party Girl telling him to take cover, only for her to cover as she is being shot at. D still holding his ear and turns his head just in time to see a zombie moving towards him. He gets up and hits the zombie in the face, then sees Spectre aiming at him. He then grabs the same zombie that he just hit in the face and uses him as a bullet sponge and fires back at Spectre, then moves towards his team and drops his shield, then does a 360 spin to take cover and was in front of Harley and Girl. Okay. We need OT flank these guys now. Harley and Girl nod their heads, then out of nowhere a red flash landed in front of them releasing red smoke. Then they hear one of their team members who is African American shooting at the zombies. It's a pheromone, it attracts them. He continues to shoot, then Party scopes and fires at the zombies as she shot one on the head. Lupo and Four Eyes who pass by the zombie that Party just shot and continue to shoot at the zombies and at D's team. Then a raven-haired pony-tailed female named Willow who just stabbed at a zombie by the neck and delivered a roundhouse kick to the side of its stomach, then stabs another zombie by the neck and it drops dead. Four Eyes looks at Lupo who's still and get her attention. We got a T-103 tyrant approaching, she said as they continued to fire. Then out of nowhere a car gets sent flying, making everyone stop firing and take cover. As the car crashed towards a gas station pole sign, it brakes, making it fall towards a Wolfpack. Making them move out the way. Lupo jumps out the way as the sign make contact on the ground, creating a little smoke cloud. She gets up and looks around, then looks back and sees a 8 feet tall silver-head man wearing a large black coat with black steel-toed boots. The tyrant looks at Lupo and growls, making her back up. Oh shit. She shoots at him and runs. D elbows a zombie, making it fall on top of the car hood and breaks its neck with his rifle. After that, out of nowhere a body was sent flying, crashing into car's side next to him. He looks at the body only to recognize it as Lupo, who is unconscious, and sees the tyrant who moving towards him and fires. Harley was fighting Berta as she is using her machete and kicks him on the stomach, making him hit the truck. He then looks back at her trying to swing her blade at him. He then used his rifle and blocks the strike, then hits her on the chin with his rifle and grabs her shoulder, then slams her face at the truck leaving a dent, then leans back dodging a swing from her. Then they continue to fight in close combat. Beltway grabs a female zombie and shoves a grenade on her mouth and pulls the pin from it and kicks her to a group of zombies. Here's a little something to remember me by bitch. BOOM. Hey fuck yay. He watched at the group of zombies he just blew up fall on the ground in pieces with blood and guts everywhere. Oh, that's messy, he chuckles. Tweed was shooting everywhere at the zombies, then turns her head at D, who is moving back firing at the tyrant who just picked up a car and was about to use it and crush. D. Move. She begins to fire at the tyrant. D continued to fire at the tyrant, then stopped as he widened his eyes, looked at him as he raised the car above its head. Oh shit. When the tyrant was about to crush him, then out of nowhere something landed on the ground, making everyone stop that they were doing, including the T-103. They all looked at the small crater and see someone or something get up. When the smoke clears, they see a teen no older than 17 or 16 standing at 6 feet tall with blonde spiky hair, with his eyes closed, with a handsome face that made the females on both Wolfpack and Echo blush, and built like motherfucking Ryan Reynolds from Blade Trinity, build but not too big, but built for speed and movement. He is wearing a torn-up orange short-sleeve t-shirt, with black slashed-up baggy pants with black ninja sandals. The figure opens his eyes slowly only to show blood-red cat-slit eyes glowing. Where the fuck am I? Everyone was looked at Naruto with wide eyes, while Naruto himself is looking around with narrow eyes. He sniffs around the area and makes a disgusted face. Why do I smell blood and death everywhere? He then sets his sights towards Echo and Delta, Wolfpack, especially the T-103. You. He points the tyrant. Why don't I sense any life within you? He asked as the tyrant drops the card to the side, making D sigh in relief. The tyrant walks to the side, so does Naruto, without breaking eye contact with it. Everyone looked at them, especially at Naruto, like he was crazy going up against a BOW. As they stopped, everything was silent except the dead making moaning sounds. Suddenly, out of nowhere, both Naruto and the tyrant charged at each other, fist and swung. Both fists made contact, sending both of them fly. Naruto crashed towards a store while the tyrant crashed into a car, making it explode. Naruto groaned as he got up and walked out of the store, wiping away a little bit of blood from his lip. He then looks towards the fire and sees the tyrant come out of it with his coat a little burned and torn. The tyrant growls at him as his coat made a steam sound as his coat fall to the ground, while Naruto raised his eyebrows at that. Four Eyes widens her eyes. Oh shit. He's removing his power limiter, she exclaimed as everyone tense, continuing to look at the tyrant. The tyrant grunted as his body started to change. As it grew more muscle mass, his fingers changed into claws, making the T-103 tyrant into a super tyrant. The super tyrant roars, making Naruto look at him with a surprised look. He then started laughing a little, getting everyone's attention. I see you want to go all out, huh? He said as everyone looked at him, confusion as they hear the tyrant growl in agreement. I know that the tyrant don't talk and shit like that, so just go along with it. Everyone was taken by surprise by his answer except for Naruto. Fine, I will accept your request, he said as his eyes turned from red to gold as golden aura was surrounding him as a bright light burst out of him, making everyone shield their eyes. As the light diminished, everyone looked back at Naruto. When they did, their eyes widened in awe at the sight. They're standing in front of everyone as Naruto, as his entire body was covered in a full black bodysuit that reached just half his shins and his knuckles, with 6 Magatama markings on his collar with a circular marking on his abdomen. He was then covered with a long-sleeve golden jacket with 9 Magatama markings lined up in 3 rows at the back of it. His skin color turned from sun-kissed skin color into a brighter, lighter tan. His hair changed from yellow into golden flames as 2 bangs on both sides of his face changed into 2 horn-like appearance. And lastly 10 truth-seeking balls behind him. This is his Rikudo Senin mode. He raised both his hands as 2 truth-seeking balls flowed towards it, changing into black katana-sized bow staffs. Like the ones he uses when he fought 6th Path's Madara. He points one at the tyrant. Ready? The tyrant roared as he began running towards Naruto as he did the same at the tyrant. Naruto swung one of his bow staffs at the tyrant's head while the tyrant tried to stab him, but only for it to be blocked by the other staff. Naruto did a backflip, kicking the tyrant on his chin, making him stumble backwards, but kept its balance. He then looked at Naruto as he was doing a low-powered red, purple, black beach ball-size Rasengan with 4 blades around it. Bijudama Rasen Shuriken, Tailed Beast Bomb Rasen Shuriken. Look up in Ultimate Ninja Storm 4, it's 6 paths Naruto's jutsu, but not his ultimate, so it won't make a massive explosion, only a big size at the size of the person or beast. Naruto threw it towards the tyrant as he tried to slap the attack away, only for his arm to be severed by the blades of the Rasen Shuriken. The tyrant watched as the attack made contact, sending him into the air as an explosion occurred big enough to consume the tyrant in it. When the attack died down, the body of the tyrant fell onto the street floor, making a small crater. Naruto walked towards the body and sees it a bit burned and its leg missing, same with half of his face. The body starts to twitch and looks at Naruto as he does the same. It was quiet for a while, then Naruto raised one of his swords above his head, then stabbed it on the tyrant's eye, killing it. After killing the tyrant, he took out his blade while powering down. Well, that was a disappointment. I thought he could take the hit. Hell, even Madara, Kagaya and Sasuke could take the hit. Oh well, guess this world is sensitive when it come to attacks like that. He then hears click sounds and looked at Echo and Wolfpack pointing their guns at him. He raised his hands in surrender. Well, that's one way to say hello, he said, looking at every one of them. D.I. still pointing his gun at Naruto. Who are you? Naruto then looked at him. The name's Naruto Uzumaki Namikaze, and you are? He asked. Name's D.I. and the others that are standing by me are Echo Squad, the US government. Naruto nodded, then out of nowhere he grabbed something only for Vector to decloak, holding his neck from Naruto's grip. Mind telling me why you're sneaking up on me? He looked at Vector. OOROO orders are to capture you, he said as he tries to get out of Naruto's grip. Naruto narrowed his eyes and got in Vector's face with his eyes blazing. Who gave you that order? He demanded. Sorry, that's classified. He then kicked him on the stomach, but Naruto blocked it by letting him go. Then Vector took out a knife and tried to stab him. But Naruto took out his kunai knife and blocked it. He then roundhouse kicked Vector on his side and jumped back, making some distance. He looked at the group that's with Vector. Sorry, gotta run later. He saluted them. D raised his hand. Wait, but it was too late as Naruto disappeared in a yellow flash. Lupo looked at her squad. After him, don't let him escape, she shouted, but then she was cut off by D. The rest of Echo Team. Sorry, we can't let you do that, he said as the rest of Echo Team pointed their guns at Wolfpack, and they did the same, getting ready for round 2. Song end, _ with Naruto. After leaving Echo Squad and Wolfpack, we find Naruto jumping from rooftop to rooftop, looking around the town. Everywhere he goes there is nothing but death and deserted. He stopped and walked to the side of the and looked down to see the dead walking, limping, crawling, or devouring a dead body. Damn. What the hell happened here? He then heard gunshots and looked at the direction as he ran towards it in top speed. Once he got to where he heard the shots, he saw a brown-haired male wearing a blue police uniform and a brown-haired female tied into a ponytail wearing a red short jacket with a black shirt that shows her well-toned stomach and short blue shorts showing her nice legs with brown boots. They were both shooting in the alley, moving back away from the undead. Naruto jumped down while making hand signs, landing in front of the two. Take cover. They listened and hid behind a trash cans as he made the final hand sign. Futon. Kami Oroshi. Wind release. Godly wind from the mountain. A large vortex of wind consumed all the zombies, pushing them into the wall, smashing their heads, killing them in the process. Naruto turned and looked at them. You two okay? The answer he got was a gun pointed to the face by the cop and girl. He then looked at the sky. Really? The thanks I get for saving them only to get this weapon-looking thing pointed to the face? Really, Kami, the hell did I do to get on your bad side? He said, then looked back them. Okay, can you stop pointing that thing in my face or I will cut you hands off, literally. His eyes grew bright, frightening them as both did as they were told. The girl then spoke. Sorry, it's just that we don't usually see people control the wind out of their hands like that, or having red eyes with a cat eye slit pupils, which is cool by the way. She said as the blonde ninja sighs and pinches the bridge of his nose. He blames Kurama for making him a half-demon. He swore one of these days he's gonna get killed for that. Thanks, the name's Naruto and yours, beautiful. He smiles with his canine teeth showing, making her blush while the cop was smirked at her. My name is C.C. Claire R. Redfield. He nodded and looked at the cop. And you, miss? The cop gains a tick mark while Claire laughs. I'm not a girl, idiot. He sighs. The name's Leon Kennedy. Naruto scratches the back of his head. Sorry, it's because you kinda look like one, he said as Leon thick mark grew larger and points at his chest. Does it look like I have breast to you? Naruto shrugged his shoulders. You could've been flat-chested, he said. Wham! Naruto looked at Leon with a dead peg bump on his head while Leon was glaring at him and Claire was laughing at the scene. Was that really necessary? Yes. Yes, it was. Naruto was about to say something until they heard a scream nearby. All three of them turned and ran towards the scream that was coming from a store called Gun Shop Kendo's. When they got inside the store, Claire and Leon widened their eyes while Naruto already knew that they eat people. There in front of them they see a man, for what it looked like still in his early 40s, wearing a yellow t-shirt and light blue jeans, being eaten alive by one of the zombies. Naruto walks up to the zombie and grabs by the back of its shirt and stabs it by the head with his kunai knife. After killing the zombie, Naruto then checks the man for pulse and looks at the others with a grim look. He's dead, he said. This can't be happening, this has to be a dream. It is to be, Claire said, shaking while looking at the dead body. Then they hear banging on the store's glass window. They all turn and see the undead banging, trying to get inside. Leon and Claire point their guns at them while Naruto took out his kunais and hold them in a reverse grip. Once they got ready, the zombies broke the window. Then Claire and Leon fired while Naruto appeared in front of some and started cutting of their heads or stabbing them. After a few minutes they got rid of the zombies for now. Come on, let's grab whatever firepower we can. Leon said as Claire nodded while Naruto told them that they can grab all the guns and ammo. Both of them looked at him like he was crazy until he told them that he can seal anything into his storage space. They nodded and grabbed shotguns, some assault rifles, handguns, grenade launchers and ammo. While they were done, they out the back. When they got out in the back, all three of them covered their noses. "Oh dear Kami, what is that smell?" exclaimed Naruto. "Something must be rotting." Leon moved the corner and took a peek to see the coast is clear and made a gesture that it's clear to move ahead. While they were moving ahead, then suddenly some of the zombies appeared on the other side of the fence, scaring Claire. "Looks like they got the hots for ya," Naruto said while chuckling at her. She pouts at him. "Oh, shut up." They kept going until they see a van in the way. When they got closer, they hear growling noises and looked up to see two zombie dogs. They moved back and fired on them after they were dealt with. Suddenly they hear something from behind, only to see the zombies that were on the other side of the fence limp towards them with hungry eyes. Naruto then threw some shurikens at them, making all of them hit them in the head, killing them instantly. Naruto and the others then walk inside the little basketball court. "Are we the only ones left alive in this town?" said Claire as Naruto puts a hand on her shoulder. "No, we aren't. I met a few survivors, but I left them cause the other group were ordered to capture me. I couldn't let that happen. After I left, I was running to see where I am. Then I heard some noises. That's how I found you two surrounded by them." Naruto explained to them. "Did you know why they were ordered to capture you?" said Leon as Naruto put his hand on his chin to remember. "Yeah, maybe it's because of what I did to this huge dude that I just killed, but he didn't look human. Maybe that's why," he said. Then they nodded. Then out of nowhere a body fell out of nowhere. "What the? Where did that come from?" Then all of a sudden more zombies came from the gate door. Naruto threw a weird 3-point kunai and landed one of their heads. He then disappeared only to appear in front of them with two kunais on both of his hands. He then slashed all their throats, killing them. "Come on, let's go." They nodded and followed him. Along the Naruto and the others ran into a few zombies along the way and birds. Weird, but then they found themselves in the streets only to find it completely quiet with a few zombies around the barricade. Nothing to worry about. "The Raccoon City police station is a few blocks away," said Leon as they all run towards it. When the three made it, they closed the gate, then heard moaning coming from behind. They all turned and saw the dead surrounding the station. "Great, they are even here," shouted Claire. Soon they all started shooting the zombies on the head. After a few minutes they got rid of them. Then they gathered more ammunition from the dead cops and went inside the station. Once they made it inside, they looked around. Then Naruto saw a man wearing a police uniform on the fountain bleeding. He then shouted for the others to come. Once they got close, the unknown person pointed his gun at them. "Who the hell are you?" said the male cop. "Wait, don't shoot, we're human," said Leon as the man lowered his gun. "Oh, you're the rookie. You like your welcome party. Nice surprise, huh?" the male cop said, breathing heavily. "Who are you?" said Naruto. Then the male cop looked at him. "Marvin Branna. I'm the guy who's supposed to be this guy's boss," he said while coughing out blood. "You need a doctor," said Claire as Marvin shook his head at them. "No, don't worry about me. You gotta help the others," he said as Naruto and Leon got up. "All right. But we'll be back," he said as Naruto, Claire and Leon looked around the police station and walked towards the door on their left. Once they opened the door, looking around was nothing but blood everywhere, but they kept moving on. They turned left and saw another door. Walking slowly as they approached, Leon leaned to the wall, as did Naruto as the others sighed. Just when they were about to breach, something crawled past the window. "What was that?" exclaimed Claire. What the hell is this?" Both Naruto and Claire looked inside and saw blood everywhere with severed limbs or guts. Screech! Naruto raised his hands, making Leon and Claire stop and looked at them. "There is something here," he said, as they nodded their head, moving nice, and slow. They stopped just at the corner, nodding one another. They rushed, aiming their guns or shuriken and kunais. But all they could see is trails of blood that led to the vents. Continuing walking slow, not letting their guard down. Drip! All three stopped, as they saw a drop of blood falling from the ceiling, looking up as they widened their eyes when they see a creature with loss of skin showing muscle tissue along with exposed brain, on all fours with razor-sharp claws, sharp canines, finally a long tongue. Standing in front of them is a licker BOW. The licker roared as it jumped towards Naruto, attempting to stab it in the chest. But Naruto ducked, but not before stabbing the licker in the abdomen. The licker hit the wall, landing on its back, showing its heart on its chest. They watched as it tried to get back up, only for Naruto to stomp on its stomach and stab the B.O.W. in the chest where the hearts is. After stabbing the licker, it moved violently as Naruto moved back to where Leon and Claire are. They watched as the licker's corpse was literally melting, leaving nothing but a puddle of blood. They looked at one another, then the puddle, and continued on. After looking in some rooms looking for any survivors in the police station, but only to find more lickers in the area with walking corpses. With little ammo for Leon and Claire, they had no choice but to run, with Naruto following behind. We find our heroes running towards a door while being chased by a large groups of undead with lickers crawling in the ceiling. Naruto quickly opened the door for Leon and Claire to pass by him. He looked back at the zombies. Quickly thinking of a way to outrun them, he grabbed a kunai from his ninja pouch, followed by a paper bomb. Eat this. He threw his explosive kunai at the horde and quickly shut the door and looked towards Leon and Claire, telling them to take cover. Both cop and teen followed his order as they ran to a nearby wall, taking cover. Naruto ran as fast as he could until a large explosion occurred in the other side of the door. "Oh shit!" he shouted as he was sent flying by the explosion, making him crash into the table. For an explosion died down. Leon and Claire ran towards Naruto only to see him get up, fit a few bruises with his shirt torn to shreds, making Claire blush at his build form and making Leon slightly jealous, wishing he was built like that. Man. That hurt. Note to self: minimize explosion radius on paper bombs," he said as he raised his hand as smoke appeared, showing a clean black long sleeve turtleneck shirt that hugs his upper body like a second skin, with black fingerless gloves and a white high collar cloak that reached just above his knees, with 3 magatamas on both sides of his collarbone to his chest, with a black bandages wrapped around his waist like a belt. Look up young Hagoromo costume. Finally, on his wrist are black arm guards, and on his back was a black katana with white Shenlong dragon markings on the handle and around the scabbard, with a white ribbon wrapped around it. Sasuke's katana, but black with white dragons on it. Naruto smiles at his new garments and sword he received by the Sage of Sixth Paths as a gift after sealing away Kagaya. "Well, let's keep going, right? We still got survivors to find," he said while his companions nodded, agreeing with him. Somewhere in the police station, Naruto, Leon and Claire continued to walk into a hallway with wooden boards nailed to the windows and with broken glass on the floor with blood. Naruto and the others raised their guard up just in case they get ambushed by more BOWs. Looks like the coast is Claire was cut off when suddenly multiple bloody hands burst through the windows and boards, scaring Claire, while Leon and Naruto shoot the heads or slash their arms off. "Let's get out of here," exclaimed Leon, ran with Naruto and Claire followed behind. Once going left, they soon were surprised when they see a blonde little girl no more than 10 years old wandering around the area. The little girl stops suddenly and gets frightened and ran away from the others as Naruto and company start calling for her. "Hey! Hold on, it's too dangerous out here. Stop!" screamed Claire while they ran following the girl, who then crawled under the broken door that was boarded up by wooden blanks. "Shit, we don't have time for this, move out of the way," exclaimed Leon as he kicked the door, breaking it in two, and aims at both sides and runs to the right with Naruto and Claire following behind him. As they ran after the girl, they find her being held by a zombie cop as Leon shouted at her to take cover, in which she did, while Claire fired multiple times at the walker, hitting him on the chest, shoulder and finally the head, killing it. The girl screamed and ran again without stopping. The other were going to follow, but then they heard moaning from behind. Naruto charged at them, but not before looking at the others. "Go on ahead, I will catch up, just save the girl," he ordered them. Leon and Claire tensed as they couldn't just leave him, but then he was right, they had to save the little girl since they couldn't imagine finding the girl dead, so they nodded to him and ran after the girl. Naruto sighed, knowing Claire and Leon, he had faith in them in finding the girl and protecting her in their care. He then sets his sights at the walkers and charged at them, drawing out his new katana and slashed the zombies like paper match, cutting one from head to toe, followed by the one next to him while cutting its head off. He then kicked the body with a Spartan kick that sending it crashing the others to the ground. Naruto channeled some of his wind chakra to his blade and slashed multiple times, cutting the zombies clean, making blood gush out everywhere, staining the walls red with guts falling on the ground as well. He then made multiple hand signs and took a deep breath. Kaden. Gukakyu no Jutsu. Fire release. Great Fireball Jutsu. He fired a large fireball about the size of the T-103, obliterating the undead to ashes. Naruto looked at the fire as his eyes grew bright as his cat-slit pupils became more thinner and sets his sights towards his hands. He continued to look at them for a while as a tear fall from his eye as he remembered the sacrifice his longtime companion and best friend since the day he was born, Kurama. Tightening his hands into fist as he wiped his eyes and silently thanked Kurama for saving him and granting him his powers. After finishing his work, Naruto ran towards to where Leon and Claire are. Back at the fountain in front of main door of the station. Naruto slowed down once he caught the sight of Leon on his knee laying one hand on a dead zombified Marvin while Claire had her hand on Leon's back with multiple dead bodies. What happened? He asked as Claire turned her head to look at him as she shakes her head slowly then looks back at Marvin's core, making Naruto understand as he now knew what happened. He walked towards behind Leon and places a hand on his shoulder, sending his condolences to Leon, who then looked at him and nods. I'm sorry about Marvin. But we have to move and find that girl, she won't last long by herself with the place crawling with those things, he said as the others agreed with him as they gathered their breath and looked at the main massive room. No matter the dangers they will be facing, they will continue on with their search for the girl and there will nothing that will stand in their way. We find Naruto and his two companions at the main hall of the police station as they tried to find the missing girl. So the first place they will begin their search is upstairs. We have to find that girl. So what you guys want to do? Split up? Claire suggested as they three made their way to the stairs on the right side of the main hall. No, it's better if we stick together. Better chance to survive and have the extra hands, Leon said as he opened the door. Besides, I don't want to point my gun at you guys, he said as Naruto and Claire smirked. Same here. Well, I don't know how to use a gun, but I will make do not to cut you guys into pieces with my sword, Naruto said, making his other companions gulp as they had seen him use his sword in action. Thanks, both said at the same time as they progress in their search. Naruto and the others made their way into officer quarters and inside were multiple bodies of dead officers. The three heard noises that was coming from out of the room. Turning to the left, they see zombies that were walking towards the office room where currently are. Not wanting to be here, they turned around only for them to see the officers that were dead stand up and charged at them. Leon and Claire fired their guns at them while Naruto was making quick work of them with his sword. Damn, at this rate we'll be surrounded, let's get out of here, Claire said as she shot the zombie that was at the other side of the room. With no other choice they made a run for it, but as they passed the door they came in, the undead that were outside the office came in. Fuck. Having no choice, Naruto did hand signs in high speed until the last hand signs hit Tiger Fire style Dragon Flame Bomb. Taking a deep breath, Naruto fired a large stream of white-hot flames that took shape of a Shenlong dragon, burning the dead corpses to ash. We gotta go as that won't hold them off for long, Naruto said as his companions agreed and they made a run for the exit. Once they opened the door, Naruto slammed the door on one of the dead civilians' face, making its face into a flat pancake. Wow, that was close, Leon said as Claire agreed while Naruto looked around as the streets were crawling with the dead that were once people. We gotta keep moving, who knows what next we will be dealing, the former Konoha nin said as he continued to walk towards the stairs. Leon and Claire looked at one another as they followed the young ninja. Hey Naruto, Leon said, getting the young sage to look at him. What's up? We been meaning to ask, how do you know breath, fire, blow wind with the palm of your hands? This time it was Claire said. Naruto looked at them for a moment until he sighed. Far-fetched, but I'm not from your world but from another, he said, making Leon and Claire widen their eyes in shock. Wait, hold up the phone, you are from another world? I don't know Naruto, that is kinda hard to believe, she said while Leon nodded his head agreeing with her. Sighs. Look, I know it's hard to believe, but trust me when I say I am from another world or dimension. How do you think I can walk on walls and run so fast? As for the fire breath and shooting wind out of my hands are called ninjutsu, and to perform ninjutsu you need chakra, Naruto explained as making the two Americans confused. Chakra? Leon repeated the word as Naruto continued. Chakra is a form of energy, of both spiritual and physical energy or life force, that it is a part of us including plants and animals, he said. Before you flame about chakra and shit, I already know, but I don't want to go to full detail into it. You think we got that chakra stuff inside us too, even if you're from a different world? Perhaps, but I wouldn't recommend, really. How come? Claire said as she crossed her arms under her large bust, making them look bigger. Well. How should I say this? Since I'm new to this world, I first want to see how they work before I even decide to choose who I will teach, Naruto said. Well, you know us and we seem pretty trustworthy. Yes, but not that well. Besides, I don't want you guys to get hurt because of me, he said as he remembered the orders that guy in the mask said. What makes you say that? Leon said with a raised eyebrow. Apparently these guys in black uniform with a weird umbrella insignia were ordered to capture me. But luckily other guys in green uniform kinda hold them off, thus giving me the chance to escape. Naruto explained to what happened to him when he first appeared into this world. When Naruto finished, Leon and Claire looked at one another as they already have in mind who these guys are as they set their sights back at the young sage. By any chance did these guys' umbrella insignia was red and white, right? Leon asked with curiosity, and to his confirmation Naruto nodded his head. Damn. So it's not just the undead we gotta worry about, as we now have the Umbrella Corporation after us. Technically this umbrella you speak of is after me, so I'm pretty much sure you're safer than I am, Naruto said. True, but that won't stop them from using us as hostages if they get the chance, Claire said as they made it on top of the station. Once they opened the door, it showed two ways. Looking left and right, Leon then spoke. Which way? Let's go right, Claire suggested as the three made their way down the hall. Claire moved on ahead as she took cover on the wall. She took a small peek and saw two zombies limping around on the hull. Looking away, she made a hand gesture to the only two males of the group that there were some zombies close by. Nodding their heads and not wanting to make noise, Naruto walked up to the two undead and silently killed them with his katana. After killing them, they continued to walk down the hall until they started to hear noises coming outside. What is that? Naruto asked as he looked out the window to see what it is. A rescue helicopter, Claire said, but then something came crashing down from the roof of the building where they were. The three walked slowly to see what came crashing down from the roof. Taking a peek, they all saw a man in a black cloak on one knee. You again? I thought I killed you, Naruto said as the T-103 stood up and scanned at them. Somewhere in an unknown location. Sir. A man in a black uniform with the same umbrella insignia in their uniform said to his commanding officer, who walked up to him. Report, he said calmly as the other man showed him the computer and saw the T-103 looking at the two civilians and the target that Wolfpack were supposed to capture. It seems that we found the Wolfpack target, sir. Should we tell them his location? The soldier suggested, but his superior shook his head in decline. No, Wolfpack are on their own from this point on for their failure. Order the T-103 to capture, he ordered as the soldier nodded his head and typed. The commanding officer put his hand behind his back as he smirked to himself. Let's see if you can escape this time, whoever you are. I want report on the other target. She's in the church with some remaining STARS members. Good, I want the Nemesis to follow their location at once, he said as the others typed down as he left the room. Back with Naruto and the others. You know this guy? Leon said as they moved back when the T-103 stood up and walked towards them. He's not someone but a thing or whatever this guy made off, he said as Leon and Claire fired some shot at him but had no effect on him. Our guns have no effect on him, Claire said as she and Leon ran away while Naruto sheathed his katana on his back and did some hand signs. Naruto, let's run, our weapons couldn't do anything to him, Claire said as she and Leon looked back to see their friend who just finished his hand signs and looked back at them and smirked. You guys go on ahead and find the girl, I got this bitch, he said. What, we can't just leave you with this T. Whatever she was going to say was stopped when Leon put a hand on her shoulder and shook his head. Stay alive, you hear me? The rookie cop said as Naruto nodded his head at him. Naruto looked back at the T-103 while Claire and Leon ran ahead to find the girl, whatever she is. When they left, Naruto jumped out the window and out to the roof while the T-103 followed him. Alright ugly, let's see if you last long than your buddy did. Storm release. Typhoon tiger piercing fang, he exclaimed as his eyes glowed more blood red as the night sky was blocked by storm clouds and twisters with lightning coursing around them with the combined chakra natures of both water and lightning. Suddenly one of the clouds started to form into a giant dark gray Chinese tiger while the others formed into the same tiger. Naruto smirked darkly, showing his fangs. Get him, Naruto said as all the tigers roared as they charged towards the T-103, forming into a massive drill-like twister as the T-103 charged towards the twister. Boom! The attack Naruto displayed as caused the ground to shake all throughout the city as he looked at the aftermath of his attack with cold eyes as half the building the T-103 was standing on was destroyed by his jutsu. Not wanting to be here anymore, especially when he made lots of noises that would attract anyone close by. Disappearing in a storm, Shunshin leaving like he was never there to begin with. If Naruto would have stayed any longer, he would have noticed the T-103 got out of the rubble and roar at the heavens. With Naruto. Naruto appeared somewhere around in the roof on an unknown area. He looked down and saw some zombies getting shot by men wearing green army uniform. Not sure he should help them since for all he knows they could also be ordered to capture him as well. Turning around, he was about to walk away when he heard a large deep voice that almost gave him chills. Resident Evil 3 Nemesis theme, stars. Turning around, he saw a tall man taller than the T-103 by a few inches, wearing a black leather coat along with leather black pants and steel-toed boots. What got Naruto to almost puke was that the man's face was fucked up as his right eye was stitched closed and his entire sharp teeth was showing, along with having no ears, and around its neck was a weird organ tentacle. And add to the finishing touches was that the monster was holding a rocket launcher on his left and a small minigun on the right. Man, that guy looks imitating, especially for what he's holding, Naruto said to himself as he heard the soldier in green call for backup as the monster roared and walked towards the rain of bullets he was receiving from the soldiers like a boss. Our weapons have no effect on that BOW, one of the army rangers said while reloading his ASAT. The BOW. Keep you ground until backup arrives, the soldier next to him said as he shot a walker on the head that was trying to sneak up on him from the side. Easy for you to say as that big son bitch has a rocket launcher, third soldier said as he and the rest of the army rangers took cover when the large BOW fired its minigun at them. Naruto looked at the men in green getting pinned down by the BOW as he sighed to himself. I'm gonna regret this, I just know it, he said as he crossed his fingers, creating 20 clones of himself and ordered them to make a path for the soldiers while he distracts the large BOW. Nodding to the original, the clones jumped down to the army rangers, making them jump in surprise. Get your men to fall back while boss distracts the big guy, ordered the clone as the soldier pointed his finger at him. Hold on. Blonde hair, red eyes, and whiskers marks. You're the one that Echo Squad reported. Command ordered us if we spot someone with that description as we have orders to get you out of the city, the team leader of the squad said. Sorry, no can do, I have other business to deal with and I just so happened to pass by and saw you guys needed some help, the clone said as he told the squad leader. Look, that's honorable of you, but you have to understand we are trying to prevent an unknown group from capturing Y. Whatever the squad leader was trying to say was cut off when the BOW was sent flying next to their position by the original. The hell are you guys still doing here? You gotta go, the original Naruto said as he fired a large fireball jutsu at the BOW. You heard the boss, we gotta get you guys out of here now, the clone said as they lead the troopers to a safe distance. The original looked at them until they were gone as he sets his sights at the BOW. Now, he got into his Uzumaki clan fighting style. It's just you and me, he said as the BOW roared as he and Naruto charged at each other. Back with the umbrella command. Sir, the Nemesis is fighting the boy, one of the monitor workers said as he typed the computer. What, didn't I say to order it to find the other target? The commanding officer said as he looked at the monitor and saw the Nemesis fighting Naruto in hand-to-hand combat. Yes sir, we did, but it seems the parasite that's inside it is completely damaged by the boy attacks and now it won't respond, the worker said as he tried to order the Nemesis to disengage. Damn it. It looks like we need to get it a new parasite. Size, contact me Wolfpack. It would seem that they are still of use to us, he said as the computer worker nodded his head as he made contact with Wolfpack. The commander looked at the monitor as the Nemesis was kicked to the face by Naruto. You are very interesting indeed, he said as the soldier made contact. With Echo 6. How much longer till we reach Delta Squad? Party Girl said as she and the rest of the team ran through building to buildings while killing any undead that stood in their way. Command said that they're just up ahead and they're receiving heavy fire, D said as he shot a zombie in the head with his sidearm. Well, we better get in here. Tweet didn't get to finish when she and the rest of Echo 6 saw Delta Squad completely fine, and with them was a small army of the blonde boy they met hours ago. "Oh look, it's you guys again. So are you gonna point your guns at me like last time?" the clone said as Echo 6 chuckled sheepishly at him. "Well, whatever, here's your guys you were looking for and I will be on my way," the clone said as the others started to dispel themselves. Until the last one was about to dispel, he was stopped by D. "Hey, hold a sec," D said as he walked up to the clone. "I'm gonna have to ask you to come with us," he said as the clone narrowed his eyes at them. "Sorry, not gonna happen. For you see, I don't trust you guys, nor do I trust this umbrella group neither. For all I know is that you guys might do some weird experiments on me and make weapons for you guys to cause stuff like what's going on right now," the clone said while D was about to disagree with him, but the clone dispelled, leaving Delta and Echo 6 by themselves. "Well, that didn't go well as I thought it would," Party Girl said as an explosion occurred from the direction that Delta came from along with the clones. Earlier back with Naruto. RAHHH, Naruto punched Nemesis straight to the face, making it skid back. Stars. The Nemesis roared as he charged at Naruto again as it tried to punch him. Naruto saw the punch coming right at him as he sidestepped out the way and backhanded Nemesis right in the forehead as the giant BOW fell to the ground. Naruto backflipped, getting himself some distance as he charged a Rasengan. The Nemesis stood back up and roared as he charged at Naruto again. "Yay, that's right, come at me, you overgrown piece of shit." The half-demon waited Nemesis until he was close enough for Naruto to deliver the attack. Once the Nemesis was close, it drew its fist back while Naruto did the same with his Rasengan still in his hand. Roar. Rasengan. Both attacks collided, creating a shockwave that sent Naruto crashing into a car while the Nemesis crashed into a gas station, causing an explosion to occur that destroyed some of the cars that were close by, and same goes for some buildings. The area was covered in flames along with smoke as Naruto stood up with his wounds already healing at an accelerating rate. But his white cloak was slightly burned and its right sleeve torn. "You're gonna pay for that. This jacket was a gift, you asshole," Naruto roared as he raised his hand in the air and fired a wind-style Rasen Shuriken at Nemesis, causing an even bigger explosion thanks to the combined elements of fire and wind. Naruto looked at the fire as he waited for Nemesis come out, and right on K, the tall BOW walked right out the fire with his black coat slightly burned while his wounds were healing in a slow rate. Naruto took off his white coat and stored it away for later fix as he now wore his tight black long-sleeve turtleneck shirt. "Alright asshole, ready for round 2? Naruto said as he and Nemesis charged again in a faster rate, causing shockwave as they met in the center. Naruto delivered uppercut followed by a roundhouse, making Nemesis stumble back a little, but then retaliated and threw a mean right hook at Naruto, who blocked it, but the force of the punch still sent the young hero skidding back. Naruto recovered only for him to roll out the way as Nemesis came crashing down to where he once was. Stars. The BOW roared as he was then shut up when Naruto delivered a Superman punch that sent him flying crashing into a car. Naruto pops his neck as he summons his truth-seeking balls as they took shape of his usual bow staffs. Nemesis stood up and picked up a long car exhaust that fell from the car he crashed into. The Nemesis ran towards Naruto, who stood his ground as he sets both his staffs in a X cross shape as he blocked a strike from the large BOW. The young sage held the car exhaust back with one staff while he used the other to hit the large bioweapon left side jaw, sending the bioweapon crashing down to the ground. Naruto kept his guard up for any surprise attack, but that failed when he was sent flying by Nemesis, who backhanded him with the car exhaust, sending him crashing into a building wall, leaving a dent of the shape of his body. Man, that's gonna leave a bruise," he said as he got up and looked at Nemesis, but tilted his head to the side, dodging a car exhaust that was thrown at him. Looking back at the wall, Naruto whistled as he looked at the damage Nemesis caused. "Alright big guy, you wanna play catch, let's play," Naruto said as his eyes changed from blood red to gold as he formed a Rasengan on his right hand, but with blue markings with blades surrounding its form. Sage Art. Magnet Release Rasen Shuriken. Naruto threw the Rasen Shuriken at Nemesis, but the bioweapon was surprised as the Rasengan expanded, causing a space-time-like explosion along with him in it as blue markings spread around the tyrant's body, making it immobilize. Once the attack died down, Nemesis stood still as it roared as he tried to move, but it proved to be useless as everything in its body was not responding. Naruto took the chance as he made another Rasengan, but this time lightning and wind surrounded its form. Storm release. Rasengan, Naruto said as he charged at the BOW as he smashes his signature jutsu onto Nemesis' abdomen as the Rasengan grew in size, matching the bio-weapon size as it sent him crashing into buildings until the Rasengan exploded, causing a large storm-like explosion. Once Nemesis was gone, Naruto heard voices in the alleys in the distance thanks to his enhanced hearing. Not knowing who or what group it was, he decided to disappear in a golden flash. Once he was gone, the group he heard was none other than the Umbrella Secret Service, or USS for short. Enter the clearing. Lupo looked around the aftermath of the battle until she looked in the distance where the Nemesis was sent thanks to Naruto's Rasengan. Growling, she entered intercom to command. Command, this is Lupo. We made it to the battle site. The Nemesis is down and no sign of the target. Noted Wolfpack. Just inject the parasite to the Nemesis and we'll do the rest. What about the target? Lupo asked as Four Eyes injected the parasite to the Nemesis, who woke up and picked up its rocket launcher and proceeded to find the other target. Four Eyes gave Lupo the thumbs up and listened to command for update. There will be other opportunities as the night is still young. Proceed to the underground lab and intercept the unknown enemy from stealing any information that will lead this corporation's downfall. Understood, you heard him. We must proceed. She ordered as her team nodded their head and ran to the other direction. Unknown to any of them, Naruto heard their conversation from the rooftop not far from them as he disappeared. Deciding to follow the Nemesis as curiosity got the better of him as he wanted to know who else this organization was targeting besides him. The end. I hope you enjoyed this episode. Remember to subscribe and like this video. See you in the next part.